Here's a surprising fact for you. Almost every piece of plastic ever made still exists somewhere on Earth today. Yet, most of us can't imagine getting through a single day without using plastic. Isn't that strange? So, why do we depend on something that's also creating one of the biggest environmental challenges of our time? Welcome to Let's Talk Climate by EHCO Plastic Free July series. I am Hamra Imran and I will be your host today. Today's episode is all about one simple question with a surprisingly complicated answer. Why do we love plastic and why do we hate it at the same time? Joining me today are two amazing guests, Amna Maheen and Ishal Zainab. So I would like you both to please introduce yourselves to our audience.
Hi, I am Ishal Zainab, research analyst for this podcast.
Hello everyone, I am Amna Maheen and I am joining this discussion as an environmental advisor.
Thank you so much, Amna and Ishal. So now we are moving towards our topic. Plastic has completely changed the way we live. It keeps our food fresh, makes healthcare safer, and is part of almost everything we use every day, from our phones to our clothes. But here's the catch. The same material that makes life so convenient can stay in the environment for hundreds of years. So today we are exploring both sides of the story, not just why plastic is harmful, but also why the world became so dependent on it in the first place. Okay, so let me start with our research analyst. So Shal, can you please tell us what made plastic such a revolutionary invention and why did the world adopt it so fast? And more importantly, where is plastic hiding in your life right now without you even noticing?
Thank you, Hamra, for your question. For answering this question, let's go back to 1907. A chemist named Leo Baekeland was not trying to invent plastic, but he was trying to replace shellac, a material scraped off from beetles. In Asia, it was used in factories for insulation of wires. But there were not just enough beetles. So he mixed chemicals and created bakelite. For the first time in history, humans did not take a material from the nature but produced it. We built one from scratch. It did not melt, did not burn, and could be molded into anything. That's why it felt revolutionary. Then comes the World War II. DuPont had invented nylon from stockings, but the war needed parachutes, ropes, and tires instead. Factories scaled up like crazy because rubber and silk were gone. When the war ended, those factories did not shut down. They just switched. Toys, cups, plates, packaging, and in 1955, magazines started selling us the idea that throwing things away was modern. No dishes to wash, easy living, specially marketed to women. So plastic did not spread by accident. It solved a beetle shortage, won a war, and then got sold to us as freedom. By the 1960s, it was everywhere. But here's the part we do not talk about. Plastic never left. It just went hidden. Your polyester shirt, every wash sheds thousands of tiny plastic fibers into the water. Those fancy silky tea bags, some are plastic mesh. Hot water pulls plastic particles right into your cup. That stores it in your hand. It's coated in BPA that can absorb through your skin. Chewing gum, it's not tree sap. It's synthetic rubber, basically plastic. And car tires, as they roll, they shed plastic dust. That tire dust is actually one of the biggest source of ocean microplastic, even bigger than the bottles and plastic bags. We adopted plastic because it was cheap, strong, and sold to us as progress. But today, it's in our clothes, our tea, our roads, not just in the trash. So the revolution that started with not enough beetles ended up inside us. And maybe the next question is not why we use plastic, it's what we do now that we know where it really is.
This is exactly what I was looking for. Thank you so much, Ishal, for putting it together so smoothly. Okay, so building on that discussion, Amna, can you please tell us that if plastic has helped society in so many ways, at what point did it start becoming an environmental problem rather than just a useful material? This
Thank you, Ms. Amra. That's a really interesting question because plastic itself was never the villain. In fact, it has helped society in countless ways. Like you and Ishal said, from healthcare and food preservation to transportation and technology. So, suddenly, what changed? The turning point came when we became dependent on single use plastics. Just think about your own day. How many plastic items do you use for only a few minutes? A straw for almost 10 minutes, a shopping bag for 20 minutes, and a water bottle no longer than 1 hour or 2 hours. Now imagine these same things can remain in the environment for hundreds of years, and nature was simply not designed to break them down. So this creates a huge imbalance. So in my view, the turning point was not the invention of plastic, but it was the normalization of throwaway culture. So now what is throwaway culture? Basically, when we uh, dispose of or dump off the plastic instead of recycling or reusing them, it is called throwaway culture. And this happens because convenience became more important than responsibility. That's when a useful material, that is plastic, became one of the world's biggest environmental challenges instead of a good thing. That's all from my side.
Thank you so much, Amna, for sharing your valuable perspective. So, now before we wrap up, let's have a little fun. We have been talking about plastic very seriously, so it's time for a quick rapid fire round. The rules are simple. I'll name an item, and you both have to answer with just one of these four options: easily replace, hard replace, need better alternatives, keep it but use responsibly. No long explanations, just your first instinct. Ready? Okay, so Amna, your turn. What do you think about toothbrushes?
Is easily replaceable. There are many alternatives present already present in world like bamboo, wood brushes, and many more. But we just have to look over them.
The next is glitter in makeup or craft supplies.
That is also easy to replace because there is no mandatory thing to use glitters in crafting, and we have better alternatives like using eco-friendly things, tree leaves and confetti.
Next
That is
one is phone cases.
That are hard to replace because there are no better alternatives. So we need to work for them.
That was fun. I think it's safe to say that some plastics are much easier to replace than others. The important thing isn't being perfect, it's being more aware of the choices we make every day. As we wrap up today's episode, one thing is clear: plastic isn't simply something to love or hate, it's a material that has transformed our lives, but it also comes with responsibilities. Thank you so much, Amna and Ishal, for sharing your insights and making this such an engaging conversation. And thank you to everyone listening. That was episode 2 of Let's Talk Climate, powered by EHCO, Environmental Healthcare Organization, Plastic Free July series. We hope today's discussion gave you a fresh perspective on the role plastic plays in our everyday lives. Don't forget to join us for the episode 3, where we will explore practical solutions and inspiring ideas for building a more sustainable future. Till then, don't forget to share if something different, and Allah Hafiz.